Hi, this is David Young here with Smule Sessions, and we're super excited to be sitting down with Smule's first ever um, Indian partner artist, and which is a huge, awesome thing. So Armaan Malik is here. We're sitting just a few miles away from where you'll be performing in one day, right?
Yeah.
And we just have some kind of cool topics we want to talk about. We have some questions from the Smule community that they have rapidly posted in just a few hours since we announced that we were taking questions. So yeah, I guess I kind of, before we dive into anything too Smule-ish, kind of curious about your background in music, just like since you were a child and coming up, and you know, what was that like, and what role did music play in your childhood and then transitioning to a career?
Well, I actually belong from a musical family back home. Almost three generations of music. My grandfather was a music composer in the Bollywood music industry. Then my uncle was a composer. My dad is a composer. My brother is a composer as well.
I'm noticing a trend.
But in the whole family, there wasn't a singer. And I think my grandfather noticed this talent of mine early on, and he saw me. I was singing songs rather than talking initially. So they were like, definitely there's a natural talent in him, and we should, further that by putting him into classes and training sessions and stuff. So I started learning Hindustani classical music, which is the base for any singer back in India. And from there on, I started participating in a lot of competitions, the equivalent of of American Idol. There's a show called Saregama, which is a huge show back in India, and I was in the top 10 on that show as well at the age of 10.
Oh man, top 10 at the age of 10.
So after that, I started focusing on studies a little bit, like we all need to do.
Mm-hmm.
And amidst all of that, I had this passion of writing songs, and I used to write a lot of songs in English. Not many people know this.
Okay.
I write a lot of songs in English. My train of thought is in English, not in Hindi.
Interesting.
And somehow a cover of mine of Just the Way You Are, I'd done a cover of Bruno Mars's song, and I put it up on YouTube. And Universal Music India's managing director, he spotted that video and called me into the office, and they offered me a 3-year contract with the label.
That's
at
amazing.
The age of 16. And for me, everything was so early on in my career. I started singing professionally by the age of 8, and I got this huge break at the age of 16. And the only thing that crushed me at that point was that he said, you cannot write in English because there's no market of English music back home in India. And I was like, why not? And then I still forced one English song onto the album. But because of that album, there's a huge superstar, Salman Khan, back home. And he loved one song out of that album, and he used it in his movie. And that became my debut as a playback singer in Bollywood.
Okay.
In the year 2014. And from there on, a lot of Bollywood songs,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of non-film songs. Okay, so unlike the West, I just need to tell all the people who are listening to
No,
this.
and this is something I'm definitely curious about.
Because there's a film industry.
Yeah.
But there's also this non-film industry, which is normal album songs and singles. Like in the West, people release music irrespective of movies or whatever it's used in.
Mhm.
And people use songs as part of the soundtracks as original soundtracks. But all the movies that are made back home are musicals, so music is made for the movies.
Mhm.
Some of us, like me and a few other artists, we also focus on songs that we put out, that we are the face to as well. Not many people know that this song is sung by this singer, because they end up seeing the song on an actor rather than us.
Right.
So in the last few years, I've been doing a lot of videos in which I'm the face to my own voice.
Okay.
So that's giving me the placement as this is Armaan Malik and this is his
And is that kind of out of the norm that you're
Definitely,
doing? Okay.
it is. It definitely is, because not many singers do that, because they're really happy doing playback singing. But I always believe that the singer should be on the fore, because if anyone in the world sees a song by me, and they'll be like, okay, where is Armaan in the music or in the video? So I think that recognition is very important on a global level, because everyone in India definitely knows us as the playback singers. But on a global level, people will understand us as an artist or through music videos and through stuff like that. So that's what I've been doing. And recently I released quite a few songs. There was one song which I shot in LA called Ajana Ferrari Mein. It's a very fun pop track, and it's got trap and stuff. It's meddling with those genres.
Cool. And that was all just that wasn't tied to any film. That was just like you're saying, just for the music.
Just for the music, and that's very offbeat back home. Not many people do that. Just everyone does music for films. So,
got it.
So I kind of am the champion of that of that cause.
No, that's awesome, and it's interesting hearing all that, because there's a bit of the flip side that's definitely been affecting a lot of the music industry in kind of the U.S. right now. Is like most people don't even know that major artists don't write their own songs. They just assume, okay, it's so and so. They wrote
like
the song.
I know Bruno Mars is a writer for so many songs that are sung by other singers.
Totally, yeah, and that's actually how he started. Bruno Mars
and
was
he broke out with Just the Way You Are.
Yeah, exactly. So it's interesting that there's that whole side, and then I was reviewing your Instagram ahead of this, because I try to do my research. But one of the posts I found most interesting was you were announcing a song, and it had 3 different guys' images. Yours was the furthest to the right, but it was this person wrote the music, this person wrote the lyrics, and this person sung it.
Yeah.
But they were, everyone was equal, and it was like all the names were important. And I'm like, I can't even imagine that unless you're talking about, like, if it was like a U.S. artist and like, Diplo was the producer. And it's like big names, but most of the time you're like, I have no idea who produced this. Yeah.
It's all in the dark, especially. That's what back home what we do is that every person related to the song. So if it's the music composition, I've sung a lot of songs with my brother, so he's a composer. So the music will be by him, the lyrics will be by someone else. And like in the West, there are composers and writers. Back home in India, there's a composer who only composes music, and there's a writer who only writes lyrics. So so when we release a song, we give equal footage to everyone related to the song. But obviously, ultimately, the singer gets all the eyeballs of the song.
Of course, your job, right? I'm kind of just curious about, like, at those writing sessions, when you're putting a song together and everyone has their specific role. Like, when the lyricist comes in, does lyricist have a vocal melody in mind, or are you as the singer trying to take the lyrics and assign a melody, or does the composer say, oh, well, I think the melody should be this? Like, is there a set way that happens, or is it kind of an organic?
It's so sometimes what happens is sometimes it's organic, where 3 of us are meeting at my rehearsal place and we're just jamming. I have my guitar, my brother has his keyboard, and now we don't need pads, we have the phone, so we're writing lyrics on the phone.
Of course.
We have, but we don't use it. But I believe in writing music. Like whenever I go into the studio, I'll always write the lyric of the song, because I feel when you write it, you feel the emotion.
Definitely. And you can't get a text message on your face.
Yeah, you need to put it in airplane mode. So sometimes it happens where we're all jamming and the song so probably a tune comes to the composer first, and a lyric writer writes words according to that tune. Sometimes the lyric writer has an idea and he messages it to the composer and says, I have this really cool hook line or the top line, and I think it'll go really well. And the composer gets the lyric and he composes on that lyric. So it happens both ways. It just depends where it comes from. The source is very important.
No,
and sometimes what happens is a lot of it is governed by the film and the producer and the director. So, like I said, the film industry is huge back in home, and the script is very important, what the film wants to say. So in a particular situation, if there's a love song, they will tell us, this is what's happening between both of these characters. example, if it's first love and he's not being able to convey his emotions to the person that he really likes, so the lyrics have to be according to that, and the tune has to be according to that.
Sure.
So there's a lot of different factors that go into making a song.
Very cool. And so then you touched on that, all these factors go into creating a song, but in the end,
it's for a movie.
It's for the movie, but in your case, a lot of times you're the face of the song.
Yeah.
You're the singer.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of curious how you view that as an artist then coming onto a platform like Smule, where yes, you are once again the face of the song, but you're singing it organically. You're singing, here's me singing a take of it in my hotel room or wherever I am, and then you're going to see a million other faces of that song join you on it.
Yeah.
I'm just kind of curious on your thoughts about that as, music moving past just a passive consumption and more of a participatory experience for
it's
everyone.
amazing. I'm seeing the video that I just did, Therja, for Smule. I've seen videos from everywhere on the globe, and it's really amazing to see where a single piece of music can reach out to. And it's the collaborations are just not local anymore, it's global. And that's what these applications like Smule are helping us to do. It's bridging the gap of distance.
Yes.
Because everyone, people are working on mail, people are working on video, on FaceTime and stuff like that, and songs are being done over mail. It's that kind of a generation.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful if two artists from different parts of the world and they collaborate and they're like, wow, his sensibilities or her sensibilities are exactly like mine. And we would never be able to meet that person if it wasn't for a mediator like Smule.
Yeah.
And I think that's a brilliant thing where I feel the world's getting even more smaller. It's becoming one family.
Absolutely. And that's the amazing thing is, in Smule's case, leveraging music, because before any technological, development of the last 100 years comes in, music was still the one universal thing that the whole world had their own parts of, but kind of agreed that, like, oh yeah, we all like music. It's core to our DNA as a species. So I'm kind of curious how you just view music's role in that, making us all a family, and beyond just, your Instagram and your Twitter, where we're all talking, but
we're not communicating really.
But music is kind of the shared language that we can actually break down.
I think one interesting thing that can happen on Smule in the future, I don't know if you guys will consider it.
By all means.
It's if we get the capability to probably do 4 chords or 5 chords and just throw it out open to the world, and I'd like anyone to interpret these chords in their own way and just write a lyric on that, and I'll probably sing a song on that. So collaborating on an international level. Singing a song, making an original song right on Smule.
Yep. And
I think that would be such a cool thing.
So do we, and it sounds actually like that could actually work really interesting if we...
I don't know how it'll work logistically.
No, but like
technologically.
You and your creative process and team might be perfect for that.
We can have 4 people or 2 people. Instead of 2 people, like how we just did the collab video, we can have 4 people if one guy is a percussionist and one guy is on keys, and there are 2 singers and one on the key, on the guitars, and one only doing vocals. It'd be such a cool thing.
Well, imagine that as the writing session, and the composer says, "Here, I'm just going to play through this," and then they upload that, and then
what you feel from that piece of music, you add to the video.
But then it can splinter, and other people can take other ideas.
Yeah, and it's not just those 4 people. It can be any 4 people or 5 people in the world.
No, absolutely. Let's revisit that, because we should do that.
Definitely. We got this idea from here.
Yeah. Noted. We have it on video evidence. So I'll wrap it up, just because we're excited to have you playing here in the Bay, just a few miles from Smule headquarters. What is your live performance normally like? And just to kind of give perspective to our greater user base, how does your live performance compare to what a typical Indian concert would be?
Well, I don't know if people have a an image about Indian concerts. I don't know if you guys have been to any Indian concert, but you're going to witness one tomorrow. It's pretty different. It's from the West. I think some of us have concerts on the same level. There are a few artists who model their concerts on the same level as the international acts. Mine is mine has an intro music where there's a build up till I come on stage. It's pretty exciting. I really love that part. All the fans look forward to that. Then it goes with my original songs, and in between there's a section where I sing songs of other artists that are huge hits but are really close to my heart.
Okay.
And why I do that is because I feel that artists should never have ego. Music doesn't have ego. Music is to be shared. Music is to be loved. So when I sing someone else's song, it makes my heart feel really good. And I mean, the audience also really loves that song. They would love to hear another favorite artist's song in another favorite artist's voice.
Yeah.
I think that kind of just makes it all special. So that's what I do in my concert.
So beyond your voice, are you changing the arrangement at all?
I definitely change the arrangements. I do. I employ a lot of R&B stuff as well, because I've trained in that. Actually, not many people know I trained at Berklee College of Music also for a very short period of time in Boston, and so I use a little bit of the Western influence that I have, and the Indian classical roots always are there.
So meshing the two.
It's a mashup of all of that.
Which speaks perfectly to just being a new generational artist in this global
and we have a pop rock sound to my band. I think it's really cool. Like, some of the members of my band are actually from progressive metal bands.
That's awesome.
And I've converted them to Bollywood and Hindi playing musicians.
But they still have that background.
Yeah, so what
comes
is
out
cool,
no matter what.
What is cool, so they use those chords and voicings on my songs, and that hybrid mixture of this song with that kind of an arrangement just is amazing for someone to hear it.
That's great.
And I do a lot of, I'm personally a fan of electronic music, so there's a special set that I do in my shows. It's called BDM, which is Bollywood dance music. So it's a mixture of Bollywood popular music with an EDM sound to it.
Okay.
So you guys are going to experience some of that.
That's awesome. I'm looking forward. That's all. I'm looking forward to all of that now.
Awesome.
Well, thanks so much for taking the time to kind of just riff on all these music things with me. I'm going to turn it over to Victoria, who basically is the face of Smule to our community and has been for a very long time. Sure. And she has a bunch of questions that our community has actually submitted to us for you to answer.
I'm ready.
Hello. Well, thank you, David. Great questions. So over the past 4 hours, we got well over 100 questions from our community, but we narrowed it down to the top 10.
Okay.
So the first from Habiba.
Let's go for it.
Yeah, you should be. First off, congrats. Could you please share the feeling of being the first Indian artist collaborating with Smule?
I think it's really amazing. When I got approached for it also, I was thrilled. Especially because in India we sort of live in this bubble called Bollywood, and we love it there. But I have always been a rebel. I really love breaking boundaries, and I feel that Indian music is kind of stereotyped in the world, and I feel that everyone should know what Indian music is all about, because it's not just Indian classical music or Sufi music. It's got so much more. We're using electronic influences with, like I told you, I did a single which had trap and hip hop and stuff happening in there. And not many people know that we mix match all these genres together, and it's a meltdown of a lot of these genres. And my dream was to take Indian music global, and through Smule, I think that's a step forward towards that dream of mine. And I think
that's amazing. Well, I'm happy we can help you bring it global, and hopefully we can do more partnerships in the future. And from Ria, who would you want to duet with on Smule?
So another singer?
Anyone in the world.
Okay. I have two people who I'd love to do a duet with. One is Shawn Mendes, definitely.
Oh my God. Well, he's on the app, so you can.
He is?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. And I'd also like to do it with, I think Charlie Puth also is there.
Mm-hmm.
Is Bruno Mars there on the app?
We haven't. Maybe soon.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, so...
if he's watching.
if he's watching, if Bruno, if you're watching this, please do come for it. And yeah, so Charlie, Sean, and Bruno.
Well,
three
we'll work on
that.
And the next one from Arushi.
Okay.
When are you planning on doing a tour in India?
Oh yeah, so that's so I do. I've not. So the concept of a tour in India has not yet come about. Many people do shows in different cities, but they've not collated it together and called it a tour. So I'm going to be planning to do that in the coming year, and it's going to happen very soon. So Arushi, is that Arushi?
Yeah.
Okay, Arushi is going to happen soon. Don't worry.
Well, don't forget to invite us. We'll come and support as well. And from Fritos, what does Armanian Army mean to you?
I think my journey began with my fans.
Yeah.
I started singing a lot of covers originally on YouTube, and it started off like that. I started creating my fan base on social media through spreading music over the digital space, and over time they've seen me grow from a 16-year-old to a 22-year-old, and my voice has changed considerably over that period of time. And my fans have grown with me. It's more like a family which has grown bigger and bigger, and with things like this, like I just did on Smule, I think the family is going to grow even bigger with a global community coming in. And it's amazing. I really feel that the fans are like family to me, and I can share anything and everything with them. Even if you follow me on Twitter, you'll see that I do I do random follow backs, and just like chat with them, and they feel like I'm their friend, and I think that's really I feel special.
That's amazing. I love that. From Lisa, what is your second love after music?
Oh, nice. I love food. I really love food. So I think every musician would say that they love food.
Yeah.
My dream is to open up a restaurant or a cafe soon. So whenever time permits me, I will definitely open up a restaurant or a cafe.
Brings us to the next question from Harishika. What is your favorite Indian dessert?
Wow. Okay. So the next question was already related to this. What's my favorite Indian dessert? I love gulab jamun. I don't know if you've ever tried that.
I haven't heard of that. What is it?
It's amazing. It's I don't know how to describe it. I'm so sorry. But do you know what it?
Deliciousness.
You had gulab jamun, of course.
Yeah. So it's gulab jamun. It's like
it's dough balls with sugar syrup.
Oh.
It's brilliant. It's amazing. You gotta have some.
Well, it's like dark brown.
Dark brown, and it's got and the syrup is like super sugary.
Is it warm?
Spongy.
It's warm. It's warm.
Wow.
I love warm desserts.
Yeah, you can have it cold or warm once it is prepared. But yeah, it's spongy and it soaks in the syrup. It's tasty.
Amazing. Will you have it at your restaurant?
I mean, it depends what kind of cuisine I'm looking at.
Yeah.
So if it's an Indian based cuisine, definitely.
We'll keep an eye out for it. Next question from Rubina. Do you like horror movies?
I love horror movies.
Oh,
me too. My favorite is Conjuring by James Wan.
That one's scary.
I love it. I actually went for the latest show in the night, like 11 o'clock show for it.
Were you able to sleep at night?
Oh, yeah. I'm good with it. I actually was very scared of horror movies initially, but I got rid of it by seeing horror movies. I was like, okay, let's see what's happening. I don't. Let's not be scared.
Interesting. To come over a fear by facing it.
I have a fear of heights as well. So this last year, I went to New Zealand for a trip where it was no phone, no music happening, just me and nature and stuff like that. And I went for adventure, and I went on the roller coaster and stuff like that, and did zip lining and stuff. Because I was really scared of heights, so I wanted to get rid of it, and that was troubling me for a long time. So it's good to get rid of my fears.
Yeah. Are you scared of anything now?
Scared of not growing.
Yeah.
I think that's the only thing. And I feel that an artist should always learn and keep growing, because the more you learn, the more you grow. So I'm scared of not growing.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
I like that. And the next one from Dishka. Say something about your new song.
I have a lot of new songs. I don't know which one to talk about. But I'm working on a lot of singles this year. Many of my fans already know that. Like, apart from the film songs that I sing for Bollywood, I'm focusing on a lot of non-film singles of mine. And I think I might release an English song also soon. So everyone's in for a treat.
Good to know. And to wrap it up, from Nilofer and a lot of other community members, can you please sing a song for us?
Sing a song, okay. Let's do it. I'll grab my guitar for that.
Yeah, perfect.
Let's do it.
I will hop out of the way.
I can take my time and just tune it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is it going?
Yeah. Yeah.
साल बदला हाल बदला तेरे आने से जिंदगी का ख्याल बदला तेरे आने से जरा जरा सा डूबा डूबा रहता हूँ जरा जरा सा डूबा डूबा तुझ में ठहर जा तू किसी बहाने से ठहर जा तू किसी बहाने से ओ